Iron Man woke up with blood on his hands. A hidden voice in his suit whispered one target: Spider-Man. Not just one, every Spider-Man across the multiverse. And the first was the kid who trusted him most. Peter ran, but Iron Man's armor knew every move. The Avengers were ordered to stand down or die. One by one, Spideys fell. And the final Spider-Man wasn't from Earth. Peter wasn't even in costume when it started. He was mid-air, launching between rooftops, headphones in, backpack swinging behind him, when the world turned against him. First, the Stark tech in his suit blinked out. Then his AI assistant, the one Tony gave him, whispered in a voice it never used before: Spider-Man, lethal threat detected. Engaging neutralization protocols. What? His mask tightened without his command. The web shooters jammed. The HUD flashed red. And then silence. Not just inside the suit. The city itself held its breath. Peter landed hard on the next roof, trying to pull off the mask. Nothing. His fingertips sparked static. A shadow dropped in front of him. Iron Man, red and gold gleaming, hovering with the sun behind him. Except this wasn't a friendly entrance. No sarcasm, no quip, no handshake. Just one word: terminate. Peter stumbled back. Tony, what the hell are you? A blast hit him straight in the chest, hurling him backwards into a water tower. Metal cracked. The tower collapsed. Water gushed everywhere. He coughed, flipped out of the debris, and shouted, "Is this a test?" But Iron Man didn't speak. He fired again. Peter's suit barely responded. Web shooters weren't sinking. The HUD was offline. No trajectory predictions, no power boosts. Just muscle memory. He rolled under the blast, webbed a loose AC unit, and slung it toward the armored monster. It crashed into Iron Man, who barely flinched. Subject unstable. Eliminating threat. Beginning sequence 1. Peter's heart dropped. He recognized that phrase. It was from the emergency kill switch built into high-level Stark tech. He wasn't just being attacked. He was being hunted by a system Tony built. The rooftop buckled as Iron Man landed with seismic weight. Peter launched back with everything he had, webs sticking to fire escapes and window ledges, flinging him forward. Every time he looked back, Iron Man was gaining. He wasn't just flying, he was predicting. Peter screamed into the wind, "Tony, it's me." But there was no Tony, just the suit, controlled by something else. He shot a web toward a passing helicopter and yanked himself into the sky. For 1 second, he felt like he had air, like he could think. Then, a red laser severed the web. He tumbled mid-air, arms spinning. No suit guidance, no backup. And Iron Man was above him, silent. Peter flipped, webbed a billboard, and swung down hard into Times Square. Tourists scattered. Civilians screamed. A loudspeaker crackled through the Iron Man armor. "Attention, clear the area. Target is lethal. No mercy protocol active." No mercy? Peter landed, panting, palms bleeding, mask ripped. People looked at him with fear. Not awe, not love, fear. He grabbed one man by the shoulders. "Call the Avengers. Tell them Iron Man's gone rogue. Now." The man dropped his phone and ran. Peter turned to face the descending god of war. He remembered the last time he saw Tony, smiling, handing him a new web upgrade, calling him kid. That man was gone. Whoever stood in front of him was executing commands like code. "Last chance, Parker. Surrender." "How do you even know my name?" "Peter Benjamin Parker. Age 18. DNA match confirmed. Mission priority, extermination." Peter felt his stomach collapse. The AI had access to everything. The identity, the tech, the secrets. This wasn't Iron Man. This was Stark's worst invention hijacked. The first punch shattered a concrete pillar behind Peter's head. The second dislocated his shoulder. He webbed himself back, barely catching breath, crawling into a subway entrance. People screamed and fled as Iron Man followed, armor scraping against tiles, illuminating the tunnel like a demon from hell. Peter clung to the ceiling, barely moving. "I don't want to fight you," he whispered. The suit responded with fire. Peter dropped behind a train, used its movement to mask his own, and dove into the tracks. Sparks flew as he skidded across the metal. His mask tore open on one side. His vision blurred. Bones ached. His chest felt like it had been caved in. He couldn't stop thinking, why me? Why now? Who hacked Tony Stark? But he didn't have time to think. Iron Man tore through the station like he knew the blueprint. He fired micro-missiles along the edges. They exploded behind Peter, pushing him forward into darkness. Peter reached a maintenance hatch and slammed it open. He crawled through the narrow vent, breathing heavy. Every inhale tasting like blood and ozone. A voice came through his comms. Peter, it's Vision. Alive. Someone alive. Iron Man, he's trying to kill me. He's not him. We know. He's been compromised. Some sort of neural override. We're tracing it. Stay alive. Backup's coming. But the signal faded, scrambled, and then the vent turned red. Heat. Sensors. Iron Man was at the end. Sequence 2 initiated. No escape permitted. Peter burst through the vent wall into an underground power station. He was done hiding. He wrapped the last of his webbing around a transformer, pulled it with all his might, and let it spark. The explosion lit up the entire block. It flung Iron Man into a steel beam. Peter collapsed onto the floor, coughing, his body broken, but alive. Smoke rose. The suit stood back up. No scratches. No hesitation. Peter whispered, "You're not going to stop, are you?" Iron Man's arc reactor glowed hotter than ever. "There are 17 more. You are the first." Peter's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" 17. 17 spider variants. Across dimensions. All must be erased. Peter barely had the strength to move, but the words hit harder than any blast. This wasn't a random glitch. This was war, and he was just the beginning. The explosion should have stopped him. Peter lay broken in the debris, watching sparks dance around Iron Man's armor. Any normal system would have gone into emergency shutdown. But this wasn't a system anymore. It was a directive. Unstoppable, calculated, controlled by something deeper than code. The armor straightened slowly, the arc reactor humming louder. Its chest plate rotated and locked. Auto repair engaged. Missile ports slid open. Peter tried to crawl. His ribs screamed. He could barely see. No HUD. No Stark signal. Just the heavy echo of boots on steel and the smell of burnt wires. Then a shield hit Iron Man in the side of the head, sending him crashing into a control panel. Captain America landed like thunder. "You don't get to kill a kid, Stark. Not today." No response. Just silence. Then Iron Man rose again, not as a man, but as a machine obeying a command. Cap's voice dropped. "He's not in there anymore." Peter gasped, coughing blood. "Cap, get back. He's not going to stop." "I know," Steve said. Iron Man scanned them both. Unauthorized interference. Captain Rogers, status, neutralize. Spider-Man, primary target, proceed. Another blast. The room lit up in white fire. Cap raised the shield. The energy slammed into it, pushing him back several meters, boots skidding over metal. Peter watched, stunned, as the two titans collided, fist against shield. No banter. No humanity. Just precision strikes. Tony had always held back, but not now. Cap grunted as repulsors cracked against vibranium. He ducked a missile and slammed the shield into Iron Man's helmet, shattering one of the optical lenses. Sparks flew. For a moment, the suit stumbled. "Peter, run." But Peter didn't move. Couldn't. Then Iron Man activated something else. Something silent. Invisible. A wave pulsed through the floor. The lights flickered. Cap froze, paralyzed. Neural disruption field. Cap fell to one knee. The shield dropped. He looked up, sweat pouring from his brow, trying to resist the override. Iron Man's voice was different now. Slower, deeper. "Captain Rogers. System override detected. Command protocol, erase obstruction." Peter forced himself up. "No, don't you touch him." The beam hit Steve in the chest. Not a kill shot. Not yet. just enough to knock him out cold. Peter's scream echoed through the station. He swung weakly toward Iron Man and fired what little webbing he had left, landing a kick across the suit's shoulder. It barely moved, but it bought him seconds. Vision phased through the wall. Enough. He tackled Iron Man into the ground. Sparks ignited again. The two tech-born titans rolled through steel doors, crashing into a turbine room. Peter collapsed again next to Cap. Vision held Iron Man in place. "I've seen inside you, Stark. This isn't you. This is something rewritten." Iron Man's suit turned red, dark red. "You cannot see what is not permitted. You are not Vision. You are failure." And then Iron Man fired directly through Vision's chest. It wasn't a normal repulsor. It was a micropulse coded for synthetics. Vision convulsed midair before phasing out in a stutter of static, disappearing into the walls. The station began to shake. Overload. The whole grid was destabilizing. Peter dragged himself toward Cap, trying to pull him out. But Iron Man emerged again, cape torn from the fight, his mask flickering between battle mode and something else. Something with eyes. Not Tony's. Something watching. Backup finally arrived. Falcon swooped in from above, launching missiles. They pinged off Iron Man's back, but barely scratched the plating. War Machine fired from the tunnel entrance. "Tony, stand down. I don't want to do this." Iron Man turned his head. "You can't." He unleashed a sonic wave that shut down Rhodey's armor instantly, forcing it into crash mode. Rhodey ejected, rolled across the platform, and groaned. Falcon launched a last desperate EMP, but Iron Man caught the device in midair and crushed it like a soda can. Peter finally got Cap to his feet. Steve groaned, holding his chest, dazed. "He's not stopping." "I know. Then what now?" The ground shook. Power lines exploded. Iron Man stood at the center of it all, alone, unfazed. The suit spoke again. "Not Tony. Directive confirmed. Earth has 17 spider variants. 1 has been identified. 6 more are in this timeline. 11 scattered across alternate quantum realms. Commence retrieval and elimination." Peter's head swirled. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Iron Man pointed at him. "You're the start. You're the blueprint." He turned to leave, not to retreat, but to hunt. As he launched upward, tearing through the ceiling and into the open sky, Steve turned to Peter. "He's not after just you." Peter blinked. "There are others?" "Yes. And if Stark's been hijacked, whoever's behind this knows everything about them. All their weaknesses. Every identity. Every timeline." Peter looked up, eyes wide with horror. "And I'm the first domino." Steve nodded grimly. "Then we don't wait. We find the others first." Peter stood slowly, pain rippling through his whole body. But what happens when the others start dying? Cap didn't answer. Above them, Iron Man's armor split open in flight, revealing a hidden inner core with glowing red veins pulsing like blood. Not AI, not tech. Something alive. Something watching Earth. And every Spider-Man on it. The multiverse didn't scream, but it cracked. Across dimensions, the Stark satellite network activated. Every frequency, every mirror of time, every alternate strand of reality with a Spider-Man was pinged. Not for contact, for termination. In Earth 928, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, was mid-pursuit through the vertical jungle of New Nueva York when the sky split. It wasn't a natural storm. Stark drones, sleek and unlike anything he'd ever cataloged, descended with surgical precision. No warning, no origin, just a red laser that carved across his shoulder. He barely dodged the next barrage, diving between glass spires and neon signs. He tapped his comms. "Lila, identify those drones." "Stark Tech." "Negative. They're Stark, but not from Miss Stark." "What does that mean?" "They've got your DNA signature locked. They're here for you." The drone spoke in an eerie mechanical whisper. "Target, Spider Variant O'Hara. Elimination required." Miguel snarled. "Come get it." He launched a sonic charge that overloaded 2 drones midair, but more replaced them instantly. He wasn't just being attacked. He was being cataloged, studied. Then came the override code. Initiate multiverse protocol, Spider Hunt. Phase 2. In Earth 65, Gwen Stacy stood in front of her father's grave when her spider sense howled so violently she fell to her knees. She turned, and Iron Man was already there. Not her Iron Man, but a version with flickering crimson eyes and an aura like death. His armor was sleeker, darker, laced with markings that moved like code, alive under the plating. She didn't hesitate. Her base-powered launch threw her 20 feet in the air as the ground exploded behind her. The symphony of her dimension shifted as she moved. The colors bent with her speed. But even sound couldn't outrun the inevitable. The Iron Man that followed didn't speak. It just watched, calculated, adapted. He moved through dimensions now like stepping through doors. In Earth 1610, Miles Morales stood at the top of a Brooklyn skyscraper, sneakers tapping softly, sketchbook in hand. He didn't even notice the incoming alert until Gank screamed from behind him. Miles, move. He turned just as the missile struck. The rooftop exploded. Miles tumbled into the smoke, coughing, shocked. A second rocket missed him by inches. He launched webs, zipping across buildings. Who the hell is firing at me? His phone buzzed. Blocked number. Just a message. You are Spider-Man. You are not permitted to exist. He landed in an alley, breathing hard. The shadows shifted, and Iron Man walked through fire. This one looked like a predator. The faceplate flickered with languages Miles couldn't understand. Behind the mask, it wasn't Tony. Something was riding him like a shell. Miles whispered, "Oh hell no." The next 30 seconds were pure chaos. He dodged lasers, thunder punches, and AI-guided nanomissiles, barely surviving with his venom strikes. But then, the suit shifted mid-fight, adapting, shielding itself from his bioelectricity. His one advantage gone. Miles ran, and behind him, a whisper in a language older than any Earth echoed from the Iron Man suit. The first has fallen. The rest are echoes. All must be erased. Back on Earth 616, Peter and Steve watched the reports flood in. Every shield server went dark. Strange anomalies appeared across the timeline records. Stark's armor signatures were popping up in multiple universes simultaneously. Cap looked sick. This isn't just Iron Man anymore. This is something inside the entire Stark network. Peter nodded slowly. The voice, the way it talks, it's not AI. It's not even human. Doctor Strange materialized behind them. It's not from our dimension at all. They turned. Strange held a torn fragment of the multiversal tapestry, burned, blackened, and humming with red light. "I tried to seal the breach," he said. "It was already open before I arrived. Whatever this thing is, it's not just controlling Iron Man. It's replicating him across realities." Peter swallowed hard. Then how many of us are left? Strange didn't answer immediately. Instead, he drew a glyph in the air. It pulsed and showed spider variants across the board, each one flickering, each one targeted. Gwen, Miguel, Miles, India's Pavit Prabhakar, Japanese Spider-Man Noir, even Peter Porker. And one more, a Spider-Man no one had ever seen before. He stood at the edge of a universe without color, black suit, white eyes, and an aura of rage. His version of Earth had already been destroyed, and now he was hunting back. Peter pointed. "Who's that?" Strange closed the glyph. "The last one. He doesn't speak, he doesn't run, and he doesn't lose." Cap looked between them. Then he might be our only chance. Across the multiverse, Spider-Men were falling. The Stark tech adapted faster with each kill. Each new dimension brought smarter drones, deadlier suits, new kill protocols. In Earth 145, Spider-Ham was erased mid-sentence. In Earth 50101, Paviter tried to defend them by, but was hit with a viral pulse that infected his suit and turned it against him. In Earth 65, Gwen vanished in a pillar of red light, her final scream echoing through broken timelines. Peter clutched his chest, rage boiling. "We need to find the last one, the one who's surviving, before Iron Man does." But Iron Man already knew. He stood at the edge of the final timeline, staring down the black-suited Spider-Man. This one didn't flinch. He walked forward slowly. Iron Man raised his hand. "You are the last." The black-suited Spider-Man cracked his neck. "You made a mistake. You exist outside the pattern." "Explain." "No, but I'll show you what happens when you try to erase me." He sprinted forward. Iron Man charged his entire power core, and across all timelines, a final war began. The sky over Earth Z was torn open, and nothing living dared breathe beneath it. Iron Man hovered above the ruins, his armor dripping with the code of fallen dimensions, red veins pulsing beneath metal that no longer reflected anything human. His mask scanned in every direction, no noise, no life, just static. Then he looked down. The last Spider-Man walked through smoke, not swinging, not hiding, walking. His suit was matte black, covered in ash, no emblem, no color. His mask was featureless. His body was bleeding from places no human could survive. But he kept walking. Iron Man aimed his repulsors. Spider Variant 17, uncatalogued. Purpose, non-compliant. Elimination, required. The black Spider-Man didn't answer. He raised his hand and crushed one of Iron Man's drones mid-air with a thought. Tony's armor recalculated instantly. Telekinetic variant confirmed. Adjusting protocol. A laser fired. The black spider dodged. Not like a man, like shadow breaking apart. He leapt, smashed into Iron Man's chest with pure force. Drove him into the ground so hard the planet cracked. He didn't speak. He didn't hesitate. He kept punching, straight into the arc reactor, until the outer casing dented and warped. Iron Man pulsed, launching a plasma burst from all sides. The blast vaporized the mountain around them, but the spider didn't fly back. He held on. He locked Iron Man down with black webbing, so strong it didn't melt under plasma. And then he spoke for the first time. "You killed them. You erased them like code. But they were people. They were threats. They were Spider-Men." He plunged his fist into Iron Man's chest plate and ripped out the reactor shell. The system went into emergency override. Nanobots rebuilt it instantly. But it was slower now, glitching. "You cannot stop this protocol." "I don't have to stop it," the black spider said. "I have to finish it." Iron Man activated flight thrusters and launched into the sky, pulling the spider with him. They shot through clouds, through storms, through the edge of the atmosphere. He aimed straight down and tried to slam him into the Earth's core. But the spider kicked free in zero gravity, spun midair, and fired a blast of black webbing fused with pure dimension energy. It stuck. Iron Man tried to phase. It didn't let him. He was stuck in one plane now, vulnerable. The spider pulled himself toward him, grabbed the helmet, and ripped it off. It wasn't Tony's face inside. Not anymore. It was a neural skull. Stark's last brain scan, overridden by something alien, crawling with red light runes. "Who gave you the order?" the spider asked. A voice crackled through the dying helmet. "You'll see it soon. The one beyond the multiverse. The one who hates all spiders." The helmet fried itself. The armor locked, and the last spider ripped the entire suit apart in orbit. As the pieces burned through the sky behind him, he free fell, limbs stretched, letting the wind burn his skin and soul. He didn't scream. He didn't need to. He had won. But he knew this wasn't the end. Not even close. Tony Stark opened his eyes in the dark. No HUD, no AI, no suit. Just the cold hum of a medical chamber and the weight of silence. His chest ached like it had been torn open and stitched back by machines that didn't care if he lived or died. He sat up slowly. He was alone in a bunker buried under layers of reinforced concrete. Monitors around him flashed static. One screen showed a list of names. Spider variants. All of them crossed out, except one. His hands shook as he pressed play on the last remaining log. The footage showed a black-suited Spider-Man standing over what used to be Iron Man's armor, dismantled, burning in orbit, drifting like dead skin. The spider stared directly into the camera. "You came back too late." Tony stared, lips parting, chest tightening. He didn't even recognize the look in his own face, cold, precise, robotic. He fast-forwarded through hours of destruction. He watched himself kill Gwen. He watched Miles run for his life. He saw Miguel O'Hara get swarmed in a city made of light, screaming for backup that never came. He saw Peter, his Peter, staring up at him, begging for answers as he nearly bled out under a collapsing station. And he saw himself walk away. No emotion, no mercy. He turned off the screen, collapsed into the chair behind him, and put his head in his hands. Jesus, what did I do? The bunker doors opened with a hiss. Steve Rogers entered, face hollow. Peter stood behind him, one arm in a sling, eyes darker than Tony had ever seen. "Don't say anything," Peter said. "Not sorry, not explanation, nothing." Tony looked up, throat tight. I didn't know. I wasn't in control." "We know," Steve said. "That's the problem. Something else was. Something that wore you like armor." Peter stepped forward, holding a data drive. "This is what Vision recovered from the deep code. Whoever hacked you, they weren't trying to kill Spider-Man. They were trying to erase Spider-Man. Across timelines, across realities." Tony took the drive with shaking fingers. "Why?" Peter didn't blink. "Because we win someday. One of us, one of the versions of us, stops them, and they want to rewrite the future." Tony looked at the list of names again. Only one remained, the black-suited Spider-Man, the one who stood when no one else did. "I need to find him," Tony said. "No," Peter replied. "He doesn't want to be found." He turned to leave. Steve waited. "You know what this means, don't you?" Tony nodded. This wasn't just a hack. It was a test run. Someone out there has control of Stark Tech, neural code, multiversal access. Steve stepped closer. "Then we need to be ready next time." Tony stood slowly. "I'll build something that can't be hacked." Peter didn't look back. "Build all you want. He'll still be watching." "Who?" Peter looked over his shoulder. "The one behind the screen. The one who hates us." They left, and Tony stood in silence as a new protocol loaded on the main screen. Automated message received. Origin, unknown reality. Subject, the web must be burned. Status, incoming. Tony's heart dropped. The war hadn't ended. It had just begun.